Hi, thank you for joining me today for a new live session. This time we are going to talk about iCash, and I will give you a series of 10 tricks to use iCash more efficiently. All the tricks are about how to enter transactions as fast as possible. The tricks comes from an article, a broad article I wrote a few months ago. It is labeled "Adding Transaction to iCash Tips and Tricks," and that in that blog article that is available on the web on this here, there is a series of very interesting tricks you can go through but explain how eCash includes a series of shortcuts and little hidden tricks that allows entering transaction quite faster. Um, it is what we are going to see today. We are going to go through all those tricks one after the other, but with screenshot video and so you can see directly on screen, on your screen in this video, how you can use all those tricks when you are using eCash for real. So let's go. We will switch to the screen. Here we have a macOS with eCash opened and a document in the transaction panel. And the first thing you will do probably when you use eCash is entering transactions. So here by default, iCash auto-complete transaction as soon as you start typing text. For example, here, if you start typing, for example, bank, B of bank, automatically you get the rest of the text automatically added inside the field. Once you are at this point, you have the choice. You can directly press the tab key on your keyboard and then go to the next field, or you can click on the arrow, the down arrow, so you can go through all the accounts that start with B. You can use the up arrow, the down arrow, and you go through the list of accounts that start with B. And if you don't want to go through all those you can add a letter, and then the list will be each time narrower. There is less entry. For example, starts with BAN. So we have 3, before we have 4, 5, etc. You can also decide to see everything in the list. So to do that, you have to press the command key. It is the control key on Windows. And with that key, what you will get is the full list of accounts. Sorry, there is a problem here. Yes, it is. Sorry, it is a Shift Option down key. So if, for example, we key a B and then Shift Command down arrow, we have access to absolutely all the account, not only the account that starts with what I just typed. Absolutely all the accounts. Then at this point, I can press the return key on my keyboard to insert the selection. So this functionality works on the original account and the target account and the payee as well. It is possible to deactivate it from the preferences. Here we have an entry that says activate transaction auto-completion. If you don't like this function, you can perfectly uncheck it and then it just stop working. So you have to do everything manually. You will have to write the whole word here, or you will have to select it from the list here. When you are in this place, this field or this overfill, you can also do what we call a right click or command click, and you will get a different menu. This is the usual menu, and this is what you get when you do a command click or right button click. You get all your accounts sorted, classified by types and categories. So if you don't know the name, maybe you prefer to go this way. If you know the categories, maybe you prefer to go this way, because maybe you have a lot of them. And from this same place, you can also add an account right from here. So let's see the second trick. It is how to use how to enter a full transaction with auto completion. It is similar to this to what we just talked a few minutes ago. So you enter the day, you go to the origin account, and you can then start entering a transaction, for example, bank checking account. And if you select home as the target account, and then you press the tab key, automatically you will have the amount, the comment, and anything else automatically filled with the last transaction in iCash as just found in the database. So it is always easy to enter a transaction with the data iCash already has in the database. This feature is quite handy when you use the origin account or the target account, but also when you use the payee account, the payee information, not real account. If you, for example, if you want to enter a transaction but you don't remember the origin account, you don't remember the target account, you can, for example, enter directly, for example, Acme, then press tab, and all the rest of the transaction will be filled for you. The transaction type, the origin account, the target account, the amount, the comment, etc. Everything is filled with the data of the last transaction as used that specific payee. You can also use the text above, the links above, to access previously entered transaction, but we will see that in a moment. Now, if you want to insert, this is my third trick of today. If you want to insert an amount through a calculation, you go through. Imagine you have gone through your transaction using the autocomplete we just see right now, and we will change the amount, but with a calculation. So we enter 25, and as soon as you tip the plus key, you will get a calculator, and you can continue tipping your number, and plus 45 and plus 23. When you finish, you press on equal to see the result of the operations. And if you want that number to be pasted into your transaction amount field, you just need to press the return key, and the number is automatically pasted here. My fourth trick is about using a default origin account. Usually, maybe you have 1, 2, or 3 different bank accounts, and or maybe you have only one, and it is sometimes maybe a lot of work having to enter the origin account each time you enter a new transaction. So to avoid that, you can select what account you are working with in the transaction folder. This list here can be revealed. Click on the browser icon. You can expand the transaction folder, and inside you have the bank account. In the past, this function was in this menu, but it was removed and then it is available here. So as soon as you select bank account here, you will see that that bank account is automatically used to fill the origin account each time you are about to create a new transaction. It is totally automatic. And eventually you can even do searches using the origin account. You just click it on and then select the target account, and then you will see in there exactly all the transactions that use that origin and that target account on all your the month or you are just working in. Right now I don't find any, but if I go to maybe gifts, none, interests, we have two. So this list right now is showing all transactions for July, where the origin account is bank checking account and the target account is interest received. My next trick is number 5, is about adding transaction to iCash using a previous transaction, which is extremely handy. Because iCash has a lot of transaction in the document. You can perfectly reuse one again and again and avoid having to enter the transaction again. So that works with the day, the transaction types, the origin account, the target account, and the payee. When you click when you start entering a transaction, you click, for example, on the origin account. You enter, for example, bank saving account or bank checking account. Better this one. You can then click on command and the right arrow, or on Windows Control and right arrow. And what you will get is a list of matching transactions what has been entered recently. Sorry, in this case, what you see here are all the transactions. If you want to see the transaction, for example, specific account, you have to use the command or control left arrow, and then you see exactly let's see. I will read my text here. If you use command and the right arrow, control right arrow window, you get a list of recent transactions. It is what we were doing before. Let's see. Yes, that is it. So it is what I was saying. It was right. If you have just entered an account, you click on command and right arrow, control right arrow on Windows, and you see automatically a list of matching transaction. It is a list of transaction with the same origin account we just entered right now. So then you can choose any of those transactions, click on it, and you get all the data inserted in all the fields. And instead of using command and the left arrow, you use command and the right arrow, you get all the transactions, not only the one that are matching, but everything. So here you have a list of can be of hundreds of transactions, and you can do a click on any of them and get it automatically populated on the transaction fields. My next yes, before leaving this trick, you can do the same by clicking on the title, on the field title. For example, here, if you click on target account, you will see all the recent transactions. If you enter some text for the target account, for example, you enter home and then you click on target account, you will see only the transactions matching home as the target account. It's exactly the same as using the shortcuts, the key shortcuts, but you have to click on the field title. When you enter, this is my trick number 6. When you enter a transaction, you also have access to a calendar here on the D. The day has a little text above it, like the other field. You can click on that text and you get a calendar. That calendar lets you select the day on the current month or even change month. You can say I want to enter 8 of September, and automatically you can see iCash has jumped to September, and now you can see that the entry panel is set to September 2020 and day set to 8. I can revert this. For example, I can go back to July, 7 July, and I come back where I was before. My trick number 7 is about using favorites. iCash has a favorite function. You can select any transaction from your list and do right click or command click, and you get a menu, and you can select add to favorites. Automatically, when you do that, the transaction you just select is added to the favorites. Once you have done that, the favorites are available here. You can select any of the favorites in the list and then apply, and you can see that what you have selected is automatically inserted in the transaction fields. You can do the same without leaving the keyboard. When you are on any of the transaction fields, you can press the command and the up arrow, and automatically you get the list of favorites. Now here it is faster because you just click once and then you just have to make another click to get all the field populated. You can do that with the keyboard only. For example, you can click on command up arrow, and then when you are on the list, you can go through the list, and when you are above the transaction you want to add, you press the return key. Same effect. And now we're going to see the trick number 8. It is my favorite. I have 20 years of transaction in iCash right now. I had a lot of similar transactions. So when I have to enter 4, 5, or 7 transactions that are almost identical, the only thing that may change is the amount. Once I was working for a way to avoid having to enter everything each time. So the idea is very simple. When you enter a transaction, you have already entered several times. What you have to do is simply go to the day field, you input the date, and then you press the space key. Automatically, iCash will autofill everything. We populate all the transaction fields with the last transaction data. Then you can click on return, I mean, you can press on return to enter the transaction, or click on add to enter the transaction. When you are here, you can even use the up and down arrows and go through the list of recent transactions. Maybe the transaction you want to repeat was the transaction you entered a few minutes ago. So you can go here, and when you are ready, you click on add. So very easy. When you want to enter a transaction you have entered recently, maybe sometimes it can be the last or one of the recent transactions you have entered, all you have to do is to go to the day, you enter the day, you press the space, and then select the transaction you want to enter and press on the intro key. Maybe this trick will make your life easier, I believe. Next trick, trick number 9, is about duplicating transaction. So for example, if we have here some transaction we want to duplicate, so we select them, and then we just have to go to the menu and select duplicate. It is here, and then we can choose where the date, the month, the year we want to duplicate the transaction to. We can select to maintain the same day, or to force a different day. We can say I just want to repeat the selected transaction on August 2020 just once, or I can perfectly say I want to do that every day, every year, every 3 months, every 6 months, etc. What you can do, for example, would be, for example, what you have just selected, you could copy it several times every month, for example, and after finish after 12 transactions, that is a full year, or on a given date. I want to end on last day of December. So with those settings, iCash would duplicate those 3 transactions 12 times from January to December. It will also copy it, duplicate it in the selected month, so you would have to remove the duplicate here. But this function allows you to enter transaction automatically quite easily. If you have to enter transactions and you are late, you can use this functionality to automatically be up to date quite fast. Sorry. The same you can do, but not exactly the same. You can also, instead of duplicating, you can also transfer transaction. It is the menu just below. This time, instead of copying, what you do is transferring the selected transaction to another place, another month, or another year, or another day. For example, I could select those 3 transactions, then August 2020 as the day 12, and if I click on transfer, those 3 transactions will be automatically removed from this month and moved from this other month using this day. That's it. Okay. My trick number 10 is about adding emojis to comments. So maybe you don't know it, but you can actually use emoji everywhere, but for not breaking the auto completion system, it is better not to use emojis on the origin or the target account for now, and limit this to fields that are not used for auto completion. One of them is the comment. So for example, here in fuel, for example, we could add a little car just in front of fuel. So all we have to do is to go to go just in front of the text, and then click Control Command Space on your keyboard, On Windows, it is Windows and dot. So only you have to press the window key and the dot key, and you will get a menu. I will show you right now. On macOS, you do this with Control Command Space, and once there, you can directly select an icon on the list. You can go to the categories of icon. You can look at your frequently used emojis, and you can also do a search. And for example, I type car, and I will have some cars and no car. Okay, and we have, for example, some car here. We have here. We will put this one. Automatically, we have the emoji inserted into the command field. Now you just have to save, and your emoji is visible here. Is visible also here, and also actually it is visible everywhere. Okay, you can see here as well. It is a funny way of customizing transaction. Personally, I use that when I do card purchase. When I have to group the transaction later. For example, let's imagine we have purchased those two items with a card, so we could group the transaction, and once the transaction have been grouped, we can say this is a card purchase, and then here place the cursor in front of the text, Control Command Space to see the emoji. We can search card here, and we can automatically use this emoji, and we click OK, and we have our card purchase customized with a card icon, a card emoji, and this again is visible everywhere. We can see it here, and we can see it here as well. Here it is. Okay, we'll remove that group because it is not necessary for now. Ungroup. Okay. This is how to use emoji on macOS. On Windows, the menu is slightly different. You have to select a transaction, go to the command field, and here you use the Windows and dot shortcut. It is, if I'm not wrong, this one, yes. And then you select the icon you need from the window you get here. And sometimes not, the icon and the emojis are entered in black and white. I'm not sure why, but it is how it works right now on Windows. Here you have your emoji. Okay, now we will remove it. Just need to take it here and save. On Windows, you can also display the keyboard. On the keyboard, there is a emoji key. You can also select the emoji from here. You can go by category. You can change, I believe, the skin, etc. Okay, it is very similar to macOS. Another thing that another feature that was added very recently in iCash is the possibility to swap the origin and the target accounts. For example, if you are entering a transaction, or you have entered a transaction and you made a mistake with the origin and the target account, you can select the transaction and then go to this menu and use the swap account menu. You just have to click on save when you are finished, and to do it to go back to as it was before. Again, the target account is going to original account, the original account to a target account. This can be done to an existing transaction or a transaction you are just entering. Entering at this moment. And now to finish, this has nothing to do with entering transaction, but it is a feature, hidden feature many people, many users don't know. It is how you can flag transactions just on clicking on the icons. For example, here we have a transaction, I want to flag it. I just do a click on the icon. I can flag this one as well, or this one as well. I can flag and unflag just by clicking on the icon. Flagged icons, flagged transactions, sorry, are searchable. You can then go to the query panel and then ask iCash to show only flagged transactions. You can then unflag them from this page as well. So this is handy if you have to mark transaction for something you need to work with temporarily. This flagging is saved. So I mean, if you close iCash, open it back, open the document back, the flag is still there. You have to place on you have to click on the transaction. You have to click on the transaction icon to flag or unflag a transaction. It is not. It doesn't unflag by itself. Okay, that's all for today. I hope you like this video, this live session, and those 10 tricks I have talked about today. I believe most of them are quite interesting to use and on your day-to-day use of iCash, because it will let you enter transaction quite fast, much faster than before, than if you don't use this system. You can subscribe to this channel. There is if you are seeing this live from YouTube, or you are watching the video, not the live, the video after the live, you can always click on the subscribe button on the video, so you will get a notification each time I shot a new video. So I hope you like this, and I also hope to see you next time for the next live session. Have a good day. Bye.